Hello, as usual it's me Pavlo and welcome to the first of FiiO videos covering FiiO's new brand Snowsky. As I understood the idea, they created this sub-brand to release affordable products with retro feeling. For affordable products they have Jade Audio, but Snowsky is even more affordable and have more defined retro vibes. And I want to start with Wind. It's their on-ear headphones. And of course, in this area, we have like time-proven classics. I mean, of course, KOS Porta Pro, and other KOS headphones. And they have some similarity with KOS, but at the same time, FiiO's or Snowsky Wind is much more affordable because the price is about $18 or $15, and it's super inexpensive for the headphones. So let's have a closer look what you're getting for this tiny amount of money. Package is pretty simple, it's just cardboard with pleasant polygraphy. Actually, polygraphy, in my opinion, doesn't match the retro style. It's pretty modern, but I don't think it's really an issue. And as usual, almost no information on the box, so let's dive inside. And all the internals are pretty basic. So you're getting headphones, some manual, and a pair of replaceable foam pads. So stock came with orange, and also you can get a black one. Here they are, super simplistic in terms of design. One stripe of metal that works as a headband, and the plastic parts everywhere. Size is adjustable with clicks. So if you have obsessive compulsive disorder like I am, you can count the clicks and be sure that you adjust both sides equally. There are a few different color versions, black, silver one, and if I remember right, kind of pink or red or something like that. Here you can see the message born for music, and that's it. Also Snowsky printed here, some kind of decorative pattern, and actually what is interesting here is that cups are tiltable or swivelable, so they provide a really good adjustment to touch your ears in a proper way. So foam pads are typical, not too firm, kind of soft, and actually headphones are really comfortable in wearing. They are really lightweight, clamping force is not super strong, so probably if you shake your head with enough energy you can shake them off. But in everyday usage, in walking or even in jogging, they stay on head pretty reliably, at least on mine. There is a really big amount of adjustment available, so you can fit it even on pretty big head, but my average head is pretty okay with them. So materials are simple, but actually build quality is higher than I've expected for this range, and also nostalgic look and lightweight is pretty good thing to have. Say, as you can see, replacement of these foam pads is really similar to KOS Porta Pro, and they definitely share some traits with Porta Pros. Cable is simple, it's not replaceable, but of course it would be silly to expect it in a model that costs less than $20. It's just basic in silicone insulation. There is a microphone, it's pretty average in terms of quality, and 3-button stock control. So if you move it closer to your mouse you can use it, but don't expect super crystal clear calls. And it goes to the splitter, and after the splitter it goes down in the fabric insulation, so no microphonic effect from the top part, and a bit of additional protection for the bottom part. And here is regular 4-pin connector. So to summarize this part, I'd say that design is exceeding expectations for this price range, but compared to more expensive models, of course, there are some simplifications. When it comes to the sound, you need to keep a few things in mind. First one, they are a bit fit dependent because adjusting the size, you can alter the sound. Because if drivers will be a bit higher or lower than your ears, you'll get a bit different signature. For example, when I fitting them that drivers are slightly above, I'm getting overly bright sound. They are still bright anyway, but in case of smaller than I need size, they are too bright. Also, keep in mind that they are pretty open, and that means that if you crank volume higher, everyone around will hear that you playing something. So keep your music under the control if you don't want others to judge you for that. Oh, of course, I'm kidding. Also, I noticed a bit of microphonic effect when you putting them on. You can hear the sound of headband touching your hair and the sound of this foam touching your ears. But after fitting, when they stay firm and don't move, I didn't find any issues with that. Probably some of you saw the measurements of these headphones, and that measurements don't look great because they have a pretty uneven and spiky treble. In real life, of course, treble here sounds really uneven, but not as bad as that measurement suggests. But we're talking about less than $20 here, so still, of course, don't expect something audiophilic. Um, in terms of tuning, actually, FiiO decided to go probably the way I'd rather call anti-COS, because COS leaning towards slightly warmer signature in some of their models, but more about that later in the comparison. And here you getting main accent on the mids and the treble area. So bass here is actually pretty decent, but keep in mind that deeper bass is rolled off, so low frequency starts somewhere at mid bass and higher. Resolution is nice, and at the same time weight distribution is okay. I even was able to hear nice texturing and some of small nuances for the instruments. But it really depends on the quality of record. On the well-recorded stuff, you can get pretty decent results. But of course, a lot of tracks lacking the deep bass foundation because that part is rolled off. But it's typical for COS too, but COS has more warmth and weight. So, example is another one, Bite the Dust by the Queen, and here we have a bass line. It's pretty okay, lacking a bit of depth, but still, thanks to the nice representation of mid-bass, we getting the main part of this bass line, and the nice vocal that contrasts with bass. Mids are actually, I can't say they are flawless, but actually they are pretty nice with good resolution, with proper balance, for this price, of course, I mean, and with pretty nicely built stage. So thanks to being open back and on ears, you getting wider stage than in-ear monitors. It's not really deep, but at the same time, a depth is present. So width is slightly above average, actually not slightly, bit more than slightly above average, and depth is just a bit less than average. They are not super critical for the quality of record, of course, they are okay with streaming services and stuff like that, so not a model for the nitpicking or something like that. So I've selected example from the times when I dreamt about some headphones like this. It's Rage, Let the Night Begin, great album if you like just pure heavy metal. Rage are great. They have catchy riffs, they have groovy melodies, they have nice forwardness and aggression. And actually, this headphone sounds pretty okay. And also a bit lacking body for the bass, but not too much actually. But the main issue here is treble, because it's pretty spiky and uneven, and some cymbals produces noticeable splash. But guitar sounds nice as well as vocal. And the treble, actually, that will be the most controversial part about these headphones, because they have some splashes and sometimes some notes, some instruments hitting there. In general, there is not too much treble, but of course, treble here is pretty simplified and also pretty energetic. So, like some young dog where when energy exceeds the brain of the animal. Sorry, probably it's a bit, I was carried a bit too far away by the metaphor. So basically, basic treble that provides nice amount of overtones, but don't expect super extension or layering or something like that. And sometimes they can be splashy. Actually, I fixed that easily with equalizer, just reduced areas at about 5 kilohertz and 9 kilohertz, and it became really good for me, because between splashy treble and no treble, I prefer splashy because I can reduce it with equalizer. And actually, it's much better than warmer bloated headphones that lacking any clarity, at least in my opinion. And the example for the treble, it's Amber Rubarth, Losing My Religion, perfectly recorded track, and actually with it, treble here sounds nice. It's lacking naturalness and layering, but it's not sharp because it's really accurately mastered and recorded here. But with something poorly recorded, you can get some splashes, but equalizer came to the rescue. They don't require any powerful source or something like that, so they are pretty usable with smartphones, Bluetooth receivers, and FiiO, of course, created them as a pair for their Echo Mini series and player and receiver, and they actually goes well together. But about Echo Mini, I will tell in one of my next reviews. Speaking about the comparisons, actually the only model probably I can compare them with is that collaboration model made by COS and Retrospect. If I remember right, they are called PS21 or P21. They have a similar design and they were created with that retro vibe, but it actually an example of what I don't like in that tuning, because they are warm. They have bloated, weighty bass and much less treble, so their sound can be called comfortable, but it's lacking even basic details, and they cost $30. Of course, headphones like Porta Pro will be better tuned, but Porta Pros go for $40 or $50 in general. There are some other cost models in this in the more affordable segment, but I haven't heard them. So, to summarize everything, for $15–18, I think these headphones are okay. Actually, even more than okay, because they are comfortable, and with some equalization, they are pretty enjoyable, especially on the go. If you have like extra $30, you can go with Porta Pro, of course. They will give you better results, but actually, it's the price you're paying like triple this price. So for their price, I'd say that it's a pretty nice model. But of course, don't expect any audiophilic stuff here. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and have a great day.